I went to the House of Commons to sit in the public gallery. I was there for the second reading of the Public Office Accountability Bill. A second reading is part of the lawmaking process, and it's when MPs from all different parties come together in the House of Commons and they agree the general principles of a bill. What was quite unusual is that the second reading of the bill was presented by Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. It had been introduced to the Commons at first reading by David Lammy, the Justice Secretary. And I can only think that it's because of the significance and importance of this bill to the government that Keir Starmer actually led the debate. He was really asserting his authority, saying that this bill in effect had his personal imprint on it. He was making the commitment that it wasn't going to be watered down. He was the one that was saying that this was a landmark piece of legislation for his administration. There was so much consensus across both sides of the House, and it didn't feel as though it was forced. It felt that there was a lot of gravity in terms of the cross-party support, the sense that something needed to be done to make sure that these travesties, tragedies, scandals never happen again. In essence, there was no opposition to the measures set out in the bill. Yeah, there were calls for amendments, there were calls for improvements, there were queries about particular words and terms that were used, there were suggestions that the bill didn't go far enough, but there was no objection. And of course it leaves us asking the question as to why on earth this hasn't happened before. Never before has there been a legal requirement across public authorities, the state, to tell the public the truth. To summarise the responses of the three principal political parties, Labour, there seemed to be a lot of, I think, anger about working class injustices and the way that ordinary working class people within constituencies had been treated. The Conservatives were concerned with the criminal law provisions and about whether the wording around those criminal law provisions was going to be adequate or there would be too much room for interpretation. And the Liberal Democrats, they were concerned about whistleblower protections, and they seemed to be very well briefed about some of the technicalities of the bill and wanted to move things forward. So the third stage after that second reading is that it goes forward to a committee. After the committee stage, it goes on to a report stage, which is when it comes back to the House of Commons. And it comes back and then has its third reading. So often the report stage and the third reading happen at the same time. And if a bill then goes through at third reading, it then goes through to the House of Lords as a second chamber. It goes through a similar process through which the Lords have the opportunity to debate and amend a bill. Then it comes back to the House of Commons. So that was interesting that there were different kind of flavours of different responses from different parts of the House. But all in all, I thought that the debate was really heartening. I thought it was entirely appropriate and it was given the degree of seriousness that it should have done. Although I did think if everybody agrees with this, if there is complete consensus across the House, maybe the bill could have been stronger, and it signals that there is room to improve this bill because there wasn't any opposition.